What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, back with another manga review. This is one that has been recommended ever since I first got into Berserk. I've seen you guys in the comments. You gotta read Fist of the North Star. Well, I read Volume 1 and Volume 2, actually. But we're gonna review Volume 1 today. It's gonna be spoilery. This is a 37-year-old, 38-year-old story already. But we're gonna see what I think of it, and we'll do some recap towards the end. Before we jump into it, though, I'm going live this Wednesday for Whatnot Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern for an hour-long comic book auction. I start them at $1, 30-second auctions, and I got a ton of those great Whatnot exclusives, the Invincible Omni-Man, the Invincible cover, trade dress, non-trade dress, some great stuff. So make sure to come through. You can bookmark that sale now. With that out the way, let's jump into the review. Alright guys, so before we jump into it, most of the manga is in black and white. However, the cover, and there's a couple of pages within like the first few chapters or so that are in color, which look really great. And it's got such an 80s vibe to it. I mean, he feels like he's straight out of Double Dragon or Final Fight or something from Capcom. But he's got that 80s, even Berserk vibes. And the antagonist is kind of got Berserk vibes as well. But Fist of the North Star, this is by Buronson and art by Tetsu Hara, Volume 1. It's a smaller hardcover book, and we'll see what chapters are collected in the inside. We have this cover page, Fist of the North Star, collecting 13 chapters, and it's a post-apocalyptic world in the far, far future of 1990-something. A cry from the heart. And then we have our Double Dragon, Kenshiro, or just Ken, protagonist here, going against very 80s type, beat-em-up video game style villains. It feels like those video games all were inspired by this. And it just shows how it's post-apocalyptic. It's almost like Frank Miller Batman Returns vibes with like mutants running everything. Really, it's like the strong survive is what runs things in this world. Kenshiro looking a lot like the Black Swordsman here. This is where you first get introduced into some of the children characters that kind of end up following him. It's a very cruel world. There's a lot of orphans and a lot of people get killed. Rin is the young girl that'll start following him, and I forget the boy's name. Yeah, he even just explains here that it's survival of the fittest here. So he gives his name as Ken, so Kenshiro or Ken for short. And it's important that he meets these characters now because they do come play a part later on in the story. This is where he exposes the 7 scars. We learn in Volume 2 who gave him those and what that's all about. But this is where we first start to see the strength that he possesses and how he possesses it with this martial arts art form. And we're going to get the word here in just a moment. Right away, it's a very brutal, violent book. I mean, every fight interaction, and really that's all this book is. It's just fight after fight after fight, are extremely gory. I like how this mutant is kind of oversized. Like he can pinch off this child's head, like pop it like this. It's almost like, again, like a Hugo character or Abigail from Street Fighter or something. But we can see how powerful and confident that Ken is. Here he does his Double Dragon type hurricane kick here. And he's big on the poking. Poking these guys up. So what that's all about, he'll explain now. The characters are usually like, what was that? I barely even felt that. Are you kidding me? I'm going to kill you now. Like this guy, right? But we start to learn what the Divine Fist of the North Star is. And the art style or the form that what it's actually called, because 1 minute later it'll explode him like for all these pressure points and contact points that he touches. So that's very much the style of fighting that he uses. And then he wanders. It's very much like you've seen this trope, the Wanderer Ronin. This is Usagi Yojimbo. It feels like Blade of the Immortal. It feels like Berserk in that sense. And they do this a lot too. In the first couple of pages of chapters, they'll add just like an orange kind of hint of color, which is really nice. So Ken just encountering these biker guys, and it's this rough world, man. No one's gonna let anyone slide, showcasing how quick he is catching kind of that dart and flicking it back at the enemy, hitting him in his eye. And he basically just wanders from town to town just doing good deeds. I mean, what else can you do? Very Mad Max kind of looking villains here in this post-apocalyptic world. But they'll straight kill innocents, man. And Ken, he'll try to avoid the fight, but they start killing old men and stuff. He'll straight just muscle bulge out of his clothing on them. And then he'll just lose it and take down the enemy, showing off those 7 scars of his. I like how the manga goes into new chapters as well. It's pretty seamless. These read so fast, man. I've already read volume 2, and I think I'm going to review that as well. All right, but here we go. So he's always fighting these kind of like unbeatable opponents that have never been beaten. Pretty scary looking folks. But he always gets the upper hand, man. And it's kind of like One Punch Man in that sense too, right? Like he's always going to kick their ass no matter what. Like he rarely even struggles, at least not in this volume. But here he goes with the different pressure points. So you're going to see him popping people's arms and having their heads caved in. Pretty cool stuff, actually. So, I mean, I'm digging it. It's fun. It's fast. This gives me Akira vibes with that kind of like very detailed, destroyed environmental scene. Look, he buries the old man. So our guy is a really good guy, man. He's like, you know, the hero that you follow around, and he tries to right these wrongs. Now, this character, we learn more about in Volume 2. I don't even think I want to speak on it right now. But it's kind of like the Griffith to his Guts, you know? And the difference between them, I guess they do explain that here, is that Ken will poke you at a pressure point and explode from within, but his power is the opposite. It's the yang to his yin, that it allows him to go through the enemy. And that's the other style. And those two styles together are kind of like, I guess, I don't know if they were taught by the same master. I haven't learned that part yet. But just showing how ruthless, man, they're having this child holding her father up. Otherwise, he'll hang himself or he'll be hanged. So you know that Ken's got to come through and stop all that, right? Yeah, so we learned that that's actually the person who gave him those scars on his chest, man. So that was kind of cool. Like, okay, we're learning who his nemesis is right away. So in the first volume, you're getting the environment, how powerful our hero is, who his arch enemy is, what type of fighting styles he has and enemies he goes up against. This guy's got like Vega Wolverine claws. Very Shao Kahn type looking stuff. See, pretty brutal, right? Slicing this guy's head off. And then it's always the same thing. They underestimate Ken. And then he's got to show him what's up. Leaving him scorpioned. And then he explains to them how they're going to die in 1 minute. And then they explode. Crazy. So that's the name of the style that Ken uses. Hokoto Shinken. That's what he uses. And I don't know if I'm going to catch it flipping through these pages with you guys on what the enemy's style is called, which is like the opposite of his. So I'm digging it. I mean, I like this era of anime, of manga, like late 80s stuff, man. It's just brutal, cool characters, cool powers. So what we find out, wow, it gets deep here, man. So his name is Shin. That's the bad guy. Basically took his wife. When he hit him with the 7 scars, we'll get to it, I'm sure. I thought that was volume 2, but I guess I read these back to back. Well, I finished volume 1 and then I read 2. So, wow, man, it gets very berserkish. This book is really good, man. It feels like it's giving me the same type of vibes like Berserk did. So here we go. It's been a long time, Kenshiro. So again, he's just going to be bulging out of his wraps. And this is him, and we'll learn about what happened to his wife here. So at first, he doesn't even want to fight him one-on-one. He's like, man, you're not even strong enough. We'll just send one of my goons at you. And he has kind of like powers like the Blob from X-Men. Like, he can't really hit him with the pressure points the right way because his fat just absorbs it. And we saw that earlier with him fighting some regular guys. Then this is where we learn all about the 2 different styles. Hokoto Shinken, which is Ken's style, and Nanto Saiken, which is Shin's style. And Uria is Ken's wife, who was forced to leave him in order to spare his life against the fight against Shin. So Ken finally learns he's got to warm up this guy's belly, basically, and hit him with the Chun-Li kick to start splitting them open. And I like, see, flames of devotion, and then boom, we start getting the orange coloring again. That's dope. So we're seing him about his wife before the encounter. Yeah, but it is Shin. So then this is where we get the encounter. They fight each other, and that's just how it is in this world, man. It's just ruthless, and people want to steal your water and your food, and just survival of the fittest, only the strong survive. So basically, he popped Ken's arms and legs right here, kind of making him unable to move. Then used his powers just to scar him a little bit 7 times while he's trying to convince Yuria to say that she loves Shin and that she'll leave Ken for Shin because he's secretly been in love with her. So she reluctantly does it to spare Ken's life, and then Ken's still left incapacitated, can't do anything. So now that he's healed up and he's all better and he's found Shin, he's gonna have his revenge or his rematch right now. Already able to catch the speed and seemingly ready to battle Shin this time. So Shin, kind of seeing that he's been bested a little bit, just goes and kills Yuria. She was sitting there kind of like zoned out anyway, and she wasn't really responding, but he kills her in front of Ken now, which sets him off. And I like this. So Shin goes through his hand, but then he just closes his hand on his hand that's inside of his hand to squeeze down. That was dope. And look, boom, the action scenes look crazy. So he just blew up his hand. Hit him with the E Honda now, 1,000 hand slap. And they'll name off like the moves too, which is pretty cool. So then he learns that Yuria, that was actually a dummy that was sitting there, that he didn't really kill her. He just did it to mess with him. She killed herself right here. She's like, I'm sorry, Ken, to her, I'm breaking my promise, but I can't do this. And she kills herself, so she's already been dead. And Shin's gonna kill himself now to not give Ken the satisfaction of seeing him explode from within. So this is where he jumps off. So that was a pretty cool battle. So kind of Shredder-ish from TMNT, killing the villain in the first volume. Killing the villain, that was cool. And then this is kind of like setting up a new arc at the end of this volume, going to this other town. And it's the same shit. Big oversized enemy, treating regular people poorly, being underestimated, hitting them with a pressure point, them not knowing what the hell's going on, but then basically incapacitating them from within with that fighting style. We get into these kind of like Nazi type characters later on, and we learn that they're from like this area that it seems like almost like a Negan Walking Dead kind of thing, even though all these things I'm referencing would have borrowed from this, if anything. But yeah, so starting this new arc, these are now the people that are not treating people right kind of thing. This guy's pretty brutal too, man, with the string, killing the father right in front of his daughter. See, I'm telling you, this book is hardcore too, man. So when Ken sees that kind of stuff, he doesn't want to jump in and get involved in everything, but he sees stuff like that, he's like, man, I got to do something. He actually makes the guy cut his own head off, which is great. Oh, then we got Mad Sarge. So that's when we get introduced into the Red Berets. So not the Green Berets, but just another type of enemy wandering this post-apocalyptic world. They seem to train insanely, like weights on top of spikes and fighting to the death, and only half those get to that are alive will become Red Berets. And I guess they all followed this one boss who has supposedly supernatural powers. And it kind of ends with the battle with this Mad Sarge, and he hits him with these darts that go inside you and spray your blood out and make you bleed out. So that's where this ends. Yeah, man, super fun volume. I want to take a quick moment to thank Dynamite Entertainment for sponsoring this video. They have a pretty big week of releases this week for new comic books with Red Sonja, Black, White, and Red issue 8, Draculina issue 2, Elvira Meets Vincent Price issue 5, Evil Ernie issue 4, Panther issue 2, and Betty Page The Alien Agenda issue 1. Shout out to Dynamite. Make sure to pick up their new comics this week. All right, guys, so that was Fist of the North Star Volume 1. It didn't disappoint. I mean, obviously, I read Volume 1 and then 2 back-to-back, so I liked it. It was right up my alley. I love the kind of 80s, early 90s video game vibe, but it also has that Berserk vibe to it. It's got the Mad Max vibe. It's got a lot of vibes going on for it, and I'm really digging the hell out of it. Let me know if you want to see a Volume 2 review, because I definitely could crank that out. And maybe some more suggestions. I have Bleach. I have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I have a couple of different mangas I'm going to be checking out as I read my Secret Invasion Omnibus. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay minty fresh. Peace.